So this week is Carers Week, and for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Kizzy and I'm the community agent for East Mendip. And I've been with CCS now for nearly 3 months, which has gone by really quick, hasn't it, Nick? Nick started the same day as I did. Yeah. Morning, Christelle. Hi, Trace. Oh, Sonia. Hi, Sonia. Ah, lovely to see you. I'm sorry, I didn't even remind you, but well done for remembering. Hi, Carol. Elaine. Oh, yeah, the kids they're in the New Forest and they went to have a look at the wild ponies and things. So yeah, they're living life today there. I'm sure they won't care that it's raining at all. It's nice for them to get out and run off their energy. Oh, yesterday, Nala, my youngest, decided that she was going to give herself a little haircut. So it just, yeah, I don't know what it is. As soon as they get to 4, Darcy did the same. And yeah, they just think, oh, you know, just give myself a little haircut. And it would be at a time when we don't have any access to hairdressers. So Nala's given herself a lovely lopsided bob, which is wonderful. She's going to have to sport that now till we can get to a hairdresser, because I have tried cutting hair and it's not good. I'll make it worse. So. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Carers Week this week and what we have to offer really for our unpaid carers. Somebody just... so there are 5.4 million people in England who provide care for family and friends. Some people might not necessarily think that is what a carer is. You just take on that role and you think, you know, you're not an unpaid carer, but you are if you provide, you know, it doesn't have to be personal care. It can be shopping for somebody, or you know, just helping them to the toilet but not actually doing anything with the, you know, or preparing a meal for somebody. You know, that is caring. That's, you know, what it is. So, you know, if you're watching this and you think, no, I'm not, then you probably are. And with the coronavirus, there's estimated to be, I can't remember the actual figure, but it was a lot of new people taking on the role of being an unpaid carer. So the people they care for may be affected by disability, physical or mental ill health, frailty or substance misuse. A carer does not need to be living with the person that they are caring for. I'm trying to keep up with the comments today, just because I don't always do that. Yeah, my neighbour's decided he's going to start trimming his lawn. So yeah, carers' well-being is paramount. You know, if you don't look after yourself, you're not going to be able to provide that service you want to for your loved one. You need to look after yourself first, and that goes for everybody, really, doesn't it? It's, you know, for me, you know, when I've got the children and things, it's important to give myself that time to recoup, and then I can, you know, be the best mum that I can be. Just to say something on a personal level, because I, you know, although I have been a carer before, I was a micro provider. You know, but I was paid, so I always used to say to people I was caring for who had family, wives, husbands, particularly who had Alzheimer's or dementia, they, you know, I really sympathise with them to think, you know, I can leave this situation, I can go home and I can relax and take myself away from it, but for somebody who lives that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's intense, it's rewarding, but it's, you know, it's really hard for you. And I think people who are unpaid carers, they don't give themselves enough credit for that, and they expect a lot more of themselves because they are, you know, they're their loved ones. But it doesn't mean to say that you don't, you know, you don't love them because you think, oh, you know, I could do with having some me time, you know, seeing some friends of mine, doing a hobby of my own. I don't know why I write these PowerPoint presentations because I've completely gone off track now. But yeah, so there, just to go back to the well-being again, there's many things you can do to help your personal well-being, and doing so as an unpaid carer is so important, as I've said. And often in your role you may feel as though you haven't got the time, or you know, something else is more important, and it's difficult to allow yourself that time to give yourself you time, really. But it is so important. I can't stress that enough. Really, it's, you know, you need to be kind to yourself and invest in your own health and well-being. So it can be just ensuring that you've drank that drink that you've made yourself. You know, you've given yourself that time to think, I'm going to sit down with this cup of tea, coffee, whatever, and just enjoy sitting there for a minute. You know, it's not, you are allowed to do that. Just going back to my own personal experiences, when Nala was born, she cried a lot, and it was, I suffered with postnatal depression, and I remember the health visitor saying to me, as long as all her needs have been met, you know, she's safe, and you know, her nappy's been changed, she's been fed, and you know, you've cuddled her and whatnot, it's okay to just put her in the cot and shut the door for 5 minutes. It's okay to do that. But I don't know, I think I did learn in the end, because I became, you know, completely exhausted. I had no other option than to listen to what they were telling me. But at the time I felt like I needed to just always pick her up, always, you know, try and stop her crying. But we've since, you know, Nala's 4 years old now, and she's very highly strung. She enjoys the sound of her own voice, and we just all have to cope with that, really. She's obviously not as bad as what she was. She can talk now, so it's you can sit and say to her, what's bothering you? Why are you being so destructive? Why are you crying all the time? What's bothering you? And sometimes she just does it because she enjoys it, obviously. I don't know. But that's just saying about the health visitor, saying it's okay to give yourself that time. And ensuring you eat enough as well. And the right things. I mean, I'm not going to sit and say, you know, you need to follow a healthy living and things like that, because we're all guilty just of letting things slip. I mean, we went into lockdown, and I think for a good 3 weeks, if not more, most of the things that we ate were beige. You know, we just seemed to slip into this sort of lifestyle that we weren't meal planning, which we'd previously been doing because it saved us money. You know, it meant that we knew what we were going to eat, and that you know, when we went shopping, we'd have an idea of what to buy rather than trying to think of meals on the way around, and ended up spending, you know, twice as much as you normally would on a weekly shop because you haven't prepared. We slipped back into not doing that, and you know, a lot of things were just oven, and then we all started to realise that we were gaining weight and we felt rubbish. So in the last 2 weeks we had a few Joe Wicks recipe books. Now, in my opinion, I don't care much for them. I find I don't know, there's not enough carbs in them. I don't know what it is about. I always seem to think you have to have, if you're a meat eater, you always seem to have meat and carbs and veg, you know, that you can take it or leave, which isn't the important part. But with Joe Wicks, it's mostly, I think, it's protein and veg, which is great if that's what you enjoy. But for me, I always think, I'm hungry still. So, but we have taken some things, and you know, he did like a Thai green curry, which he didn't put rice with, so we just put rice with it. And the hairy bikers as well, they did a hairy dieters thing, which was quite good, because it was a lot more family meals, because it's hard to get kids to eat you know, things that they you know, that it doesn't come in a tin, or it's not sausages or pasta. You know, if you give them an avocado or something, it's like, oh, Lee prepared cuttlefish the other day, and when he was preparing it, my cousin's a fisherman, and they'd sent her some, and when he was preparing it, they thought it was disgusting. They kept holding their nose, but I don't know why, because it didn't smell, and they had no idea why they were holding their nose. It's just a reaction to this disgusting cuttlefish that they found. But a few weeks later, he'd prepared it and frozen it, and a few weeks later, he decided to make a risotto with it, and he didn't tell them what it was, and they were chowing down on it and everything, and Lee took a video of Darcy saying, "Are you enjoying that?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's lovely." And then he picked up a tentacle, and it's like, "What do you think this is?" At first he asked Nala, and she was like, "Sausages," because that's her favourite thing to eat. And then he picked up a tentacle, and Darcy completely freaked out, and she made him form a pact to say that he must explain all the food that he's preparing prior to her eating it. But she liked it, so it's just a little sneaky thing there to introduce fish and things. I mean, they're not good with fish, and that is our fault, really, because we don't eat enough fish as we should. So yeah, going back to the topic, is just making sure that you have enough fruit and veg. I think I stopped buying the you know, the crisps and the chocolate and what I thought were healthy snacks, but actually they've got loads of sugar in. We just stopped buying it and filling the dining table with fruit, so that they can just help themselves throughout the day, and it is working. It's working because there's no other option for them to have anything else. So yeah, so that's a good thing to do, is prepare your meals, you know, prepare a shopping list if you can, if you and work out, you know, what's a good ratio to have. You know, make sure that you've got enough fruit and veg, enough protein and that sort of thing, but don't not allow yourself that chocolate bar or whatever, because that's a treat, and you know, it's nice to have, isn't it? And same as a glass of wine or gin or whatever. Not that I'm promoting drinking. So taking time to exercise, this is another one I don't really do, so I sit here and preach that, but I think I don't enjoy knowingly exercising. So if I'm like going to put on a workout, which I don't do, I won't do it, because I don't know, something in my mind, it's like I don't like exercise. So if I knowingly know that I'm exercising, I automatically just don't like it, apart from swimming. But if I go for a walk with my friends and I talk, you know, we talk the whole way around, I can walk 5 miles and I've enjoyed it. But if I went for that walk on my own, thinking I'm doing this because I want to burn 500 calories, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So I don't know, maybe like sort of train yourself into doing it because you like it, rather than, you know, because you need to do it because you want to burn calories or whatnot. I mean, a lot of people do like exercise. It's just me, I think. So, I don't know. What was the other? Oh, this is what I do like: taking a bath for about 8 hours. No, that's what Lee would say. I do take a bath for a good 2 hours. You know, I'll read in the bath, I'll put a bath bomb in, face mask on, a hair mask, whatever, and I'll just sit there for a bit, and I enjoy that. So that's good. That's good for your mental health, I think. I used to put Epsom, I think it was Epsom salts, because it had magnesium in it, and that's really good for your mental health, apparently. So I did that. Not this winter, just gone, the winter before. Reading as well, listening to audiobooks. I do like to read. I don't read every night. I get a bit obsessed, I think, with reading. So if I get a book that I really get into, I'll read it within a few days. But if I can't really get into it, I dip in and out of it. And so yeah, but my husband loves audiobooks, and he'll listen to them every night before he goes to sleep. The kids listen to audiobooks as well, so they'll listen to the Jungle Book, Harry Potter, and Nala likes things like the Snow White and things like that. But there's so many of them that you can choose from that are more relevant to you and what you enjoy. Music as well. I really recommend Spotify. There is you pay a monthly subscription. I think it's like $9.99, but you can get it for free. It just means that you get adverts in between your songs or during your songs and things. So that's a bit annoying. But for the sake of like $9.99 a month, you can download so many songs, albums, and also as well. I was looking last night because I like podcasts. But I'll listen to like Scummy Mummy's podcast and things because they're really funny. But I was looking last night and there are loads and loads of podcasts for carers. So that, I think, if you, at the moment when you can't get out to, normal carers groups and things, I think it's a good alternative to listen to other people's caring experiences and things. So I really recommend going on Spotify and having a look, see what they've got to offer on that. My coffee's gone cold now, I talk too much. Someone write a comment so I can talk about something. Hi Julie. Sonia says, I care for my neighbour who has no family and she has a learning disability. Oh, that's so kind of you, Sonia. I really need to meet you. Nick was saying that you're so lovely and I've spoken to you so many times on the phone and it's just a real shame that I haven't been out to get to meet you, but I will come see you. So, being an unpaid carer can be rewarding, as we've said, right? There's no other job like it, really, is there? It's just to know that you've helped someone and you've made a difference to them. I think it's lovely. I really enjoyed being a carer. I was a carer from the age of 17. I worked in elderly people's home, dementia specialist units, adults with learning difficulties. I loved that job, but I moved from Yeovil to Templecombe, so and I only used to do 4-hour shifts, so it didn't really warrant the half-an-hour journey there and half-an-hour journey back, but I really enjoyed it. And I had key worker people there that I really, really got on with, and I had both of my children when I worked with them, and they just absolutely adored when I was pregnant and when the babies were born. I took to me, I loved that. Yeah, so it's emotionally, physically and mentally stressful, and it's full on. It's 24/7. It's not, it can be being woken up in the night and having that broken sleep, and it's just, it can be relentless, can't it? And so it's recognising the signs of caregiver stress, and so these signs are feeling overwhelmed and constantly worried, feeling tired often, getting too much or too little sleep, gaining or losing weight, losing interest in activities you once enjoyed, feeling sad, having frequent headaches, body pains, physical problems, abusing alcohol or drugs, including prescription medication. And so what to do if you recognise any of those signs is, sorry, in Mendip we have our carers agents John and Jackie. So John's East Mendip, Jackie's West Mendip, and their role is to support unpaid carers by listening to each individual and gaining as much information as they can about them, and seeing in which ways they can support you in your role, in order to prevent carers burnout. And it's a lifeline really to help those who are really unsure of what help is actually out there with regards to supporting carers, because many people don't know that there is a lot of help out there, and you've taken on this role and you're just doing it, and suddenly you realise you haven't had a life for 1 or 2 years, or or you are feeling like you've got those signs, and you feel as though there's no way out. So if you can get in touch with John and Jackie, and they can support you with what is out there to help you. John and Jackie are there for all unpaid carers across East and West Somerset, Mendip, and to help and support. It could mean helping arrange respite care, micro providers who can help with some of the physical challenges of caring, such as moving and handling. If you're finding it difficult, to move a person on their own, and you feel like it's causing you damage, which it can do. I mean, you can get carers back. I have carers back. So it's really important that you recognise that actually this is becoming quite difficult and it's painful, and you could also be causing damage to your loved one without knowing about it as well. So if you get in touch with John and Jackie, we can discuss getting some help with that, with micro providers, and they can do shopping, personal care, sitting services, so you can go out and see your friends or do your own shopping, to just do whatever you want to do for a hobby, because you wouldn't do a normal job 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You wouldn't. So it's important to recognise you need a break. John and Jackie are able to support with the financial side of unpaid caring as well. So they would discuss your financial income and decide, the different benefits you'd be entitled to. And I think there's carers allowance and attendance allowance as well. Or perhaps you could be entitled to a package of care from the council as well. There's Christelle says, hello, says support there are support and breaks away for non-paid carers as well. Julie, I cover East Mendip, but in Mendip we've got East and West team as well. Elaine is the West Mendip Community Agent. So if you think you would benefit from a call from John or Jackie, you can call our carers line on 0800 31 68 600, or you can visit the somersetcarers.org.uk website. Just making sure I keep up with these comments. Oh, Lucy said, carers agents Jackie and John are lovely, professional, friendly, and provide a great service. As well as our carers agents, we also have our Macmillan agent, who is Christelle, and she's brilliant. I've had personal experience working with Christelle before when I was a micro provider, so she would get in touch with me and say, I've got this individual who has cancer and they need some help with meal preparing. Most of the time, in my experience, it was just to have somebody go in and check on them, so their family would be living away and they were worried that they wouldn't get to see them every day, so they wanted somebody to go in and for a chat, to make sure they've got enough shopping, make sure they're looking after themselves, and so Christelle would arrange that, and she did that a couple of times with me, so, and she's really brilliant. She covers South Somerset and Mendip, and she can help you get access to practical, financial, emotional support within your local community. And you can get her on 07798 703 321. I'll just see what comes up. GP surgeries now have designated carers champions as well. So Claire Rogers is Froome Medical Practices Carers Champion. And if you are an unpaid carer and you register with a carers champion at your GP practice, it means that if you become ill, you will be seen immediately, because they realise that obviously carers burnout is something that everyone wants to avoid, and also you have someone depending on you. So if you were to go into hospital for one thing and another, that they would need to support you with your role caring for your loved one. Carers caring for the elderly or those with Alzheimer's and dementia, there is the Alzheimer's Society National Dementia Helpline, which is 0300 222 1122. Dementia UK 0800 888 6678, and Carers UK, which is 0800 808 7777. But Carers UK is for everybody, not just elderly. It's for young carers as well, I believe. In Froome, there's a carers group. Carers meet once a month to talk to other carers, and they organise days out and they have guest speakers. It's usually on at Froome Cricket Club on a Wednesday, on the first Wednesday of the month between 10:30 and 12:30. But at the moment, obviously due to COVID-19, it's on hold, and hopefully it'll be returning in October. The other thing I wanted to talk about was a lady called Susan Hartnell Beavis, and she's written a booklet that offers helpful and practical insights for those caring for loved ones in Somerset, and she's written it with her own experiences in mind, because she unexpectedly became a carer for her husband. And it's a short booklet, but I think it's definitely worth a read if you can. Christelle said to add to that, she can also help with transport and grants for Macmillan services. Nick, the village agent, she got hold of somebody that she knows who has given a testimony to a group that is local to her. So I won't talk about the actual, the logistics of where the group is, but I just wanted a carer's account really to see how these groups help her in her role. So I'll just read it now. So it's one carer's account of her experience of a carer support group. She took some convincing that she was a carer, as when you are a parent, you expect to be looking out for your child anyway. And she's since learned that lots of parent carers of children and adults with disabilities of all kinds and ages use the service, and they are there for anyone who is caring for someone. I met one of the staff who talked through my situation and what I might be able to use the centre for, and they passed on her details to relevant staff and gave her more information of the groups that she could join specific to parent carers. She was struggling at the time, so it was great to find a sympathetic ear and some support. She did a course called Coping with Caring, and it was 6 weeks with a counsellor and a few other carers. They didn't all care for the same reason, but they did find a lot of common ground. The course helped them all recognise that they're not alone and are doing their best. You tend to beat yourself up a lot. Since then, she's done some of the carers breaks that they organise. So she's tried archery and went to talk to Darcy Bassel. She's also done a quilting course, which has ended up as a permanent group once a month. And there are parent-carer cafes on once a month normally. Obviously with lockdown it stopped, so those they do a lot of general carers cafes to you can drop in and chat about anything. It doesn't have to be your caring role. This year she did Key Active, I think, with the Carer Centre, which is a programme to encourage you to be more physically active. You get a band on your wrist that you sync with your phone and a website you can look at to see your results and progress. And a member of the Carer Centre helps you plan for several weeks, so you are supported, and you have met some absolutely wonderful, she's met some absolutely wonderful people and made several great friends, and she hasn't needed practical support, but she knows that they will help with that and signpost people a centre point of knowledge and information, as well as a listening ear. Oh, that's a really good account, really. So if you are thinking of going to these carers groups when they're up and running, but you're a bit nervous and whatnot, I think it's definitely, you know, the anxiety of going. It must be difficult. It is difficult, but to push yourself out of your comfort zone and go, I think you'll be more relieved having gone to it than you would be just sitting at home thinking, oh, I must go to that group. I don't want to go to that group because I don't know anyone. You know, thinking people might judge you or whatnot. I don't think it's like that at all. So hopefully that's given you some insight into what they're actually like, and will spur you on to join any. Let me have a look, see if I've got any questions. Froome Carers are offering a telephone support for carers at the moment. Joan is on 01373 302 128, and Trisha is on 01373 301 369. I think that I wanted to talk about everything that I needed to today. I was hoping to talk more about young carers as well, but I didn't have the time, and because we only get a 45-minute slot to talk about what we want, I talked too much basically, so I did. But I do recognise that young carers need support too, and you can call the Carers UK as well. CCS also have that's what I wanted to talk about as well, quickly. CCS also have the Carers newsletter as well. Somerset Carers newsletter, which has just come out late spring 2020. You can access that on our website as well, and I think you can register to receive it as well, and that's got loads of useful information for carers in and around your area in Somerset, so definitely take a look at that. So they've had Mental Health Week, COVID-19 support, different case studies, and what to do, you know, if you are an unpaid carer and you're not feeling great at the moment. It's definitely useful to have. Let me just have a look to see what yeah, so I've given numbers for Carers UK and the mental health team as well. If you're struggling, that's 01278 432 000. Let's see if I've got any other questions. So yes, I think that's it for me today, and I will see you next week. Thank you for watching, and please share with everybody so that we can get the message out there across Somerset that we're here to help people. And that's the aim of these talking cafes, really, is to get, you know, as many people know about our charity as possible, so we're able to help those people. So you might not think that you need it yourself, but you might have 10 people on your friends list that could really benefit from our service. So just to click the share and get our message out there, really, that we're here to help those. And there's a train coming. There's some good timing. So yeah, I'll see you all next week. Bye.